Hello, you lovely people. I hope you're having a great day. I have finally overcome the flu, so I'm in a very good mood, and I'm very much looking forward to watching myself build this park with you and talking to you about it. That is still a little ridiculous to me. But yeah, you can see me starting off with this technique, which you will have already seen or which you will already know of if you've ever watched Kate Emerald in your life. And if you haven't, what are you doing? I'm sure all of you know of her. She's a Sims builder, a YouTuber, and she does it just like this. She puts down a round rug to get a perfectly round shape, and then uses the edge of that rug to guide her on where to put stones or whatever is used to build the edge of a path. So that's exactly the same way I did it. And I've also used an object that she uses for that, or at least I know that object from her, which is a base game debug item. I think it's some kind of package. So if you use Better Build by Twisted Maxi, like I do, I think it's labeled as a package of some sort, and it will not look like this one because it has 3 different swatches, and this is the reddish swatch. There's also one that looks more like a package, and then one that is plain white, and this one looked the most natural to me, so I chose to go with this one. And it has just the tiniest curve to it, and that's what makes it so perfect for laying out kind of rounded bits of terrain paint. So that's just the way I did it, and can highly recommend. I think it changed up this entire build. It just makes that rounded terrain paint look right. You know how we can't get properly rounded edges with the terrain paint brushes? Well, depends on how soft the one you're using is, but they look kind of jagged most of the time, and I don't like that for my builds. So I love doing this technique, and it really changed this park up a lot and made it look very cute and very purposeful, I guess. I'm gonna go with purposeful, or at least this main layout, which you will have already seen in the intro. But I didn't want to spoil too much because just as I like my real life parks, I wanted this to be a place for discovery. I imagine this to be the kind of place where you find a new beautiful spot every time you go there. Obviously, this is still only in air quotes, but this is only a 64 by 64 lot, so there's only so many beautiful spots that you can hide in that amount of area. But I am quite happy with how this turned out. Obviously, if you couldn't tell from the title, this was inspired by French parks, and I know I'm being very vague, very broad with that statement, but it wasn't inspired by anything too specific. Actually, if you've ever been to Paris or know about Paris, you might know that the name that I gave this park is an actual park in Paris. Funnily enough, that specific park is actually not in my little lineup of inspiration, so I just stole the name. I straight up stole it because I'm putting a kind of cute lookout spot, lookout point into this build. So I thought it was fitting, and it's quite obviously inspired by French gardens and French parks. So did not want to hide that from you by using a misleading title. And if you want to use this, I am building this in San Myshuno's. It's not Central Park. What do they call it? Middle Park or something ridiculous like that. I'm building it on that lot. It's called Myshuno Meadows, and it's cute and it fit perfectly. As I said, that view is really nice of the city skyline. And I liked the vibes. That lot had the perfect vibes for this park. But if you want to put it anywhere else, because that is a special lot, I've made sure that everything you need for your usual park lot is included in this build. I'm not actually sure what other lot you could put this on, as there's not that many 64 by 64 lots that make sense for a park. Guess you could put it in that Bernarden Bay one. That could actually be really cute, now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe I should have put it there. No, it's also very nice in San Myshuno. Okay, let me talk about this layout a little bit. So you saw me planning this out. This is literally all the planning I did. I knew I was gonna put this fountain in the middle, and I knew I was gonna have this little avenue leading up to it. And I wanted a building, a French historical building to the back of this fountain, so that you could look towards something slightly impressive, like glimmering in the distance while you walked along this avenue. And I knew I was gonna have a really nice area for the crepe stand. So as always, I put those things down first to make room for them and to kind of see how everything would come together and what amount of space was still left to be filled after that. And then you're gonna see me look through debug, or live edit rather, and I found some bridges that I wanted to use. So my idea, or the kind of vibe I was going for, was to have this very laid out, structural, kind of garden-like aesthetic towards the entrance and like the main part of the park. So an easily accessible, spacious area with like all the main attractions. And then I wanted the rest of the park, so I figured there was gonna be lots of space to the left and to the right, as that impressive boulevard that I planned was gonna lead straight through the middle. So I thought the areas to the left and to the right could be a little more romantic. If you know me, you know I can't decide on anything. So I tend to compromise. And so that was the perfect solution for my indecisiveness on what type of park to build. Oh, by the way, Patron chose this build. So this was the outcome of the November poll, which had lots of other great options, and I was very surprised that the park one, I put it in because someone had asked me for one, and I thought it was kind of a fun idea. I usually build residentials, and it's a fun change. I just didn't expect anyone wanted to see that from me. Although I guess it kind of makes sense in a way that you can only use so many residentials, as in you probably won't start a new family every week when I put out a new build. and the park you could use way more often. So that's just how I'm gonna explain that to myself. This is the crepe booth that came with Felix's Paris set. And I wanted a big, nice area for everyone to sit and enjoy their crepe and enjoy the view as well, which is why this toilet house that you just saw me build got a door. It originally was not supposed to have one, but then I thought it might be kind of uncomfortable regarding the placement and all. So yeah, I cut out the interior of that entire washroom, or I guess it's a wash house. It has 4 toilet stalls, and one of those has a changing table and one has a shower. If you wanted to use this for whatever else you might need in a park, then obviously feel free to do so. I put toilets because you're required to have those in a park, but if you wanted to use this for whatever other fun activity, or potentially you even wanted to use this as a wedding venue, which would be so lovely, by the way, then that would make for a nice place to have the reception. Or yeah, if you just wanted to put another activity in there, then you could change it. You could easily make it bigger. Basically, whatever your heart desires, it's possible. That turned really inspirational for some reason. Yeah. By the way, if you're wondering about the weird light changes and color grading changes, I went through multiple reshades and color grading in this video. I'm sorry if that's a little annoying to look at. If you follow me on Tumblr, then you might have seen that I reblogged a it's not a mod, it's actually just an override that changes or that fixes that really annoying thing where the MXAO changes really drastically depending on your camera angle, and it was just so annoying to get the video tour recordings to look right, and they often didn't, and that got me very excited, the possibility for that to be fixed. So I did that in the middle of this video, and then my MXAO didn't work at all. So I had to get that fixed. And then while I was at it, I changed a few settings, and it didn't look the same way it did before anyways, as I was so used to that buggy look. So I'm really happy with how that came out. And then additionally, that override fixes a few other things that for some reason I didn't even think could get fixed, and I never checked to see if there was a mod, or in this case an override for that, which was incredibly surprising to me. But I'm so happy. So for example, those weird skyboxes which regularly ruined my shots, they are fixed. They just don't exist if you have that override put in. It's honestly mind-blowing. I wish I could go back and redo the video tour that I did for Sunplay. Shit, what do I call it? Sunplay Retreat. The environmental shots in that video tour of beautiful Solani would look so much better now without those ugly skyboxes. That is honestly just mind-blowing to me how that did exist, and I didn't know about it. And then also it makes the shadows look really high quality, which is so nice. It does some proper edge smoothing, which the Sims game itself just can't for some reason. So yeah, I got that all fixed, and it's really nice now. I definitely recommend. So this is me doing the path for the more romantic part of the park. It is winded, it is whimsical, it is everything it needs to be. And I saved you from having to watch me clean up those paths, that terrain paint, through the magic of video editing. And now it looks cute, and it didn't before, but we will promptly forget it ever looked different than it does right now on screen. And because this beautiful path needs something along which to wind itself, I put in this, river is a bit much said, but I'm gonna call it a stream, using the pond tool. And that worked surprisingly well. My last experience with the pond tool didn't feel very easy. And this worked out fine. Some of the edges still look a little rough, a little angular after I smooth them out, but overall, I'm quite happy. A lot of those ragged edges are gonna be hidden by the beautiful bridges, which came from live edit objects from Discover University, I'm pretty sure. So those are gonna steal the spotlight anyways. And it came out nice. Oh, there they are. If you didn't recognize them, it might be because I've sized them down so much. It's usually a big bridge, but yeah, I wanted this whimsical tiny stone bridges look, and I do think I got it. For the landscaping, I mostly looked for very natural looking plants and anything that had white in it, so whatever has flowers has white flowers. I used lots of things from Country Living, which has beautiful life edit objects plants. In particular, it has that one item, I think it's called something patch, or like flower, it's not a flower patch. You're gonna see me put it in a second. I'm gonna notify you. Which has like, it's like ground covering kind of, and it has a few white flowers and then just very spread out tufts of grass. It's so useful, honestly, was so useful for these more meadowy areas. I think, yeah. There it is. It was perfect for these areas behind the lounge chairs, because those were not supposed to be like really overgrown. Like, it should look as if you could still make your way through there with a dog, for example, and have like children running around in it, especially in comparison to some of the more closed off, inaccessible areas with like thick bushes and please trees blocking the way. So that object was honestly perfect for it, and whenever I have enough room to use it, because even the smaller ones are quite big, I love using that. Awesome. Chef's kiss. Great item. It even looks very good at the edge of this little stream, if I do say so myself. And also, this willow right here is from Country Living as well, and it's so beautiful. Like, the textures are just right. Really appreciate that. That's why I also had to post a sneak peek of that particular tree, because it looks so nice in the sun, and it has some great quality. I also really like these bushes that came with Country Living as well. They're actually not white, the flowers on them, but they're the closest swatch to white. I think it's like a pale yellow, which was still fine for my romantic, magical look that I was going for. And then this ground cover that came with, I don't know, like 5 different packs. It's very weird. It comes in a few different sizes and a few different swatches, not only the flowers but also the leaves have like a slightly darker green and a slightly lighter green in some of the swatches. And I think of those, I also mostly used the one that came with Country Living. It all just goes really well together and looks very cute. And I just noticed while I put that bike there that obviously I had already built the picnic spot. And then this is the area that has the obligatory children's playground equipment that you gotta put in parks. But I think I managed to make it look cute. I'm also pretty sure that swing set is the only object I've put in this park from Seasons, so if you don't own that pack, no worries. And you might be wondering, who pays for all this furniture? Like, who's financing this park and this design seating? And I'm just gonna tell you that that is how things are in my dream world. Everyone has access to the best design. That's what I want. And conveniently, that's what this park offers your Sims. This is also not the only community lot that you're gonna get from me. Oh no, it is the only one this month, but you're gonna get one the beginning. Maybe not. You're gonna get one in December to celebrate Harry's new Spoons content, which is the set is gonna be finished by then, and that's another thing that Patreon is gonna decide on, which I'm very excited for because it's so much fun to do these polls. Like, it's so much fun to check the results every day and see what's changed, and it's so fascinating to see what everyone's interested in. I love that, so that's what I'm gonna do in December. And people keep asking me for Christmas builds, and I say that as if I get billions of messages every day. I don't. But I've honestly been asked a few times. I'm not really so much into Christmas myself. I'm not religious, so I don't really consider myself to be the person to do a Christmas build. But luckily there's gonna be so much Sims 4 Christmas content on YouTube anyways. But I am thinking about potentially doing a wintry build. I am a very summery person. I can't stand the winter and the cold, and that's why I am usually not very drawn to snowy builds and the like. But I'm thinking that maybe I might even make this cold time of the year a little more exciting for me, to have some nice design to go with it and to excite me to be inside while it's snowy and cold outside, where I definitely do not want to be. But yeah, I don't want to spoil too much. That's just a little thought that I've had to maybe make up for all these summer builds that you're seeing from me all year. Okay, this is the lookout point that I was talking about. There's actually a few parks in Paris that have this kind of temple on a hill or on a cliff, I guess. So that's what I was inspired by. This area is not actually accessible. You could teleport your sim here, but they cannot walk over that bridge because it's a live edit object. I'm actually not sure where it's from. I'm guessing City Living, but that probably doesn't make sense. Sorry about that. But it's so cute. It has this really cute lighting, as you can see right now. And it's so beautiful at night. It's so lovely. So really glad I found that. And it's so nice, honestly. I keep saying that. If you want to see for yourself, check out the very last shot of the video tour. That really highlights it. I also got the old married couple out for this video tour, because it just felt like a nice space to enjoy with your loved ones. Although it's always such a hassle. I'm thinking I maybe need someone to show me how to do gameplay. I don't know, I just find it so exhausting to get them to do what I want. It just never works out. Like, I need them in specific positions for my shots to work, and they just don't want to go there, especially because this other sim, you know, my playtester Sim's wife, whom you can see the wedding of in the Villa Ava interior intro shot, by the way, if you missed that. So she's not part of the household because that would be even more of a struggle to always change that and remove her and move her back. I know, because that's what I do with my child sim self, whom I sometimes need for intros and outros for family homes. And yeah, that's also very annoying. But because the wife is not a sim of my household, I never ever get her to do what I want, and it's a struggle. But yeah, the video tour still turned out great, I promise. I just love to complain. So if you want to download this, my gallery ID is honeybellabuilds, and I'm so glad you spent all this time of your day with me today. If you want to see more, then check out my channel or my Tumblr or my Patreon, and I'm excited to do this all again with you next week. So until then, take care, bye bye.